What's up, guys? We just got out of training camp. I'm sorry for the lighting and the lack of a room or anything half decent, but hey, it's our first reaction, so hopefully the audio is working. I see the video is working. It's a very unflattering angle. My bad. Of course, I'm joined here by Arjun. Arjun, how you doing today?
Doing good. Had a great time at camp today.
Yeah, no, it was nice to be back. I got to meet a couple of you guys, so thanks for coming by and saying hi. I got to with my fiance, who has not been to training camp with me. That was pretty fun. So obviously, just our first reaction. So we'll talk about some stuff on the pod later, but for now, just quick reactions. So Arjun, is there anything you can take away from what you saw from the offense to start?
Yeah. So when we talk about offense, I think number one thing is confusion. That's what Lombardi was trying to do. Yeah, Gabe Nabers line up at fullback, and there were multiple plays where he motioned out to an outside wide receiver role. And it's not. I mean, it's not something we really saw him do with Steichen. He he has decent hands. Like he caught 2 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
We saw that. But I'm not sure what that if he's just being used as a decoy.
Right.
Other things I noticed, I think there was a lot of times that they ran 2 wide receivers and then 2 running backs. So they just ran like 21 personnel. Didn't see too many too much 11 personnel usage.
Yeah.
And so we really didn't get to see much of that wide receiver three competition that I think everyone's been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean it was like we kind of expected Allen and Williams, but as far as wide receiver three goes, it seemed pretty interchangeable between Johnson and Guyton. I think the only notable thing I saw was I saw some of Johnson in the slot and Guyton out wide. Whether that means anything, I don't know. It's just the first day of practice. As far as Neighbors goes, I think he was out wide 4 or 5 times, but I don't remember him being targeted at all. And I don't think he was doing much more than just kind of running a go
Yeah.
and looking like a decoy. So I don't know if that means much for the future, but hey, it's something to keep an eye on because I don't recall how much he lined up out wide in the past. The only other takeaway I could say is um, you got a better look at the offensive line than I did, I
Yeah.
think. But in general, it looked like I didn't look at the offensive line as much, but I did see that the defensive line wasn't winning more. So
Yeah.
that kind of the impression you had.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't seem like I couldn't tell if it was like a communication thing or if it was just like gelling or maybe the D line was just on their thing today. But it didn't seem like the run game got going too much. The screen game, which we know is a staple of the Saints offense, there were a couple of times they ran like a play action, a bootleg, try to throw it back. The defense shut that down. Harris was on that. Devoshi was on that. But that's not really on the offensive line. I didn't really see much running room. There were a couple of carries. I think Eckler had a seam, but I think mainly it was because I think Staley was using that 5-2, 5-1.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that when we get to defense. But it didn't seem like that offensive line was too great. But again, it's only day one. It's probably their first time doing 11 on 11s at like game speed.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but hopefully it's something that improves.
No, admittedly, someone came and talked to us about when there was 30 minutes left in practice, so I didn't get to see a ton or tweet much about the end. I'm gonna let Arjun handle the defense because he was all over texting me. They're in this formation. This guy's playing safety. This guy's playing slot. So Arjun, thanks for showing up and carrying me here.
Yeah. So I'll just start with this. I think the biggest thing is we're not. It's going to be an interchangeable defense. I think.
Yeah.
We heard Chris Harris. We heard Derwin talk about it. This isn't a defense where they have a defined position. Like Chris Harris was a slot corner in Gus Bradley's defense. Derwin was a box safety. He played a bit of free safety in Gus Bradley's defense. But in Staley's defense, he's playing everywhere. Derwin. So this is how they started off. They started off in a 5-2 look where they had Bosa, Tillery, Linval, Justin Jones, and Nwosu. The two linebackers were Tranquil and Kenneth Murray, and then they had Chris Harris and Michael Davis out wide. Then Derwin and Nasir at safety. So that was their base, the 5-2 look. But then what happened was they brought Faison on at outside corner, which I thought was interesting, but expected given how much Staley hyped him up.
Yeah.
Off, so I'm assuming Murray's going to be that dime backer, which I think is fine. Bias, and he has a lot of room to grow. And then what I found interesting is when they went 5-1, so they went into their nickel package with 5 defensive linemen / edge players. Derwin actually played slot corner, and Chris Harris plays safety. So this idea of positionless players, they're gonna be trained in all 3 positions. It's actually true. And Derwin played a lot of slot corner. There was a matchup with Derwin and Keenan at one point in the slot, which I thought was super fun to watch. Now, just because Derwin is playing the slot doesn't mean Chris Harris is only playing safety. Because at points when they took Linval off and they went four D linemen plus 2 linebackers, and that's when Kaiser came on. Back to safety, and Chris Harris went to the slot. So I think what it's going to be is it's going to be personnel based when they're playing the Chiefs, when they're playing the Raiders. You're going to want Derwin James in that slot corner role, but he's going to be guarding the tight end. He's going to be where Waller is. It takes a unicorn to stop a unicorn. That's what Derwin James is. And then Chris Harris, I think, I mean, having him at safety isn't the worst thing. I mean, he's still a smart player, and it allows him to see the entire field. But yeah, those are my takeaways. And then Asante got some reps at slot and outside, and I think he's going to be a match with me. Like, I feel like we can see Faison more than expected, just based on what he says.
They backed it up. They were hyping up Faison a bit as the outside guy. He was starting as the outside guy. Like, okay, maybe it's just a early thing. Let Asante see how much he can. And maybe that's still the case, but he is out there, and I was kind of surprised. I brought a paper with every player and number and position on it, and it was so hard. Like, I'm in a good way. It was so hard to figure out who was playing where on defense, who was playing where on offense, which is great because we want the offense and defense to look more multiple. So I was pretty excited about that. But again, it is very difficult to keep track of who's who. Unless you have a keen eye like Arjun, I'd bring your own paper, honestly, to keep track of who was who because I was getting lost at certain points. Last thing we'll talk about before we leave is the special teams. And it was, let's just say, not a great day for the returners. And it seemed like the guy that we had out there first was Austin Prohl, the receiver from, I believe, the XFL, who was previously with the Rams. And he had a shot at being the returner for the Rams, but I believe he never made the team. So he was catching balls first. Then Guyton was kind of a surprise out there catching punt returns. In general, I think 8 to 10 balls were dropped, punts were dropped by different players. So that wasn't really a good start. I don't know, anything else you took away from the special teams?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Popper or like Gilbert or Fernando reported this, but at one point, towards the end of the special teams period, Tyrone Johnson actually got cut. It wasn't Swinton. I think it was their assistant coach or one of their assistant coaches. Tyrone Johnson actually had a problem today. He wasn't even catching the ball. Like the punt was coming, and he had a hard time judging it, and he let at least 3 balls drop right in front of him. After that third or fourth time, the coach said, "T. Billy, you're off. You know, you're not taking in more reps. Prohl, Hill, Guyton, or JG, you take the rest of the reps. T. Billy, you're off." So I mean, it didn't look like, when T. Billy was even if he was catching it, it looked a little funky. Like it was like he was running towards the ball. I'm not a punt returner, so I'm not sure how it's supposed to go. But it didn't seem like it was super smooth, like KJ Hill looked. In my opinion, I thought he looked the best, even though he dropped a couple. So T. Billy struggled a little bit. I thought the punters did pretty well. Laughlin and Long had a couple balls where they just booted it all the way into the end zone, pinned them inside the 10. Pro looked fine. I didn't think JG looked too good either. Guyton.
No.
I thought it was mainly Pro and KJ Hill. And I mean, if it comes down to it, you're either valuing special teams only value, which is I guess Pro, because I'm not sure he's a real receiver like KJ Hill could be.
Right.
So are you valuing special teams value, or are you valuing all around skills, which I think KJ Hill has a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, returners didn't have a great day. Only the first day, so I'm assuming they're going to do this thing every single day, which they should.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, I love Darius Switchley. I could hear him from the fence. If you were standing on the fence, you could hear him shout. You could hear him telling the players blocking, "This is what you have to do. This is that was a good job."
Nice.
Calling everything. I only went to one other training camp practice when George Stewart was the special teams coach. I don't really have vocal, but yeah, I thought he was a really good coach, a great leader. Obviously, the returners didn't do good. We got to see the kickers at all on the other.
No, it was so far, and at that point, I couldn't tell who was who, but I'm sure they were hitting their stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not much update on there. As far as special teams goes, only else thing I could add is there was kind of a switch between Kelly and Roundtree with punt protection. I think Kelly did take the first team perhaps reps with, and then Roundtree was the guy that was rushing him, and Kelly was blocking him. As far as the offense goes, I don't know with that battle. Do you feel like it was 50-50 when they were in front, or was Kelly more the RB2 in Jackson's absence? It was hard to tell.
Yeah, it was a little hard. I think I saw Roundtree a little more with Chase Daniel.
Yeah.
Initially, when they were doing the 7-on-7s, it was Kelly. 11-on-11s was Roundtree.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much edge on the battle there, just because we didn't really see much.
Right. Exactly. No, that's pretty much it from us today. Not a whole lot. We're not trying to overreact to all of these things. We're not saying that Jalen Guyton's a punt returner or that the offensive line is going to stink this season. But hey, that's just what we saw on day one. So Arjun, thank you so much for coming out and watching, because I was a little bit distracted at the end there. So I appreciate it. We'll be here all week. I believe you're going to be here on Friday
with Steven.
Steven will be here on Friday. I'll be here on Saturday with Steven and some of the other guys. So, can't wait. Take care.
All right. Peace out, guys.